Gearson, can you hear me? Hello. Do we have audio? It's working. All right. Thank you, Holistic Hottie. I did a little test stream. I don't have any good news, Gearson. This is mainly a check. Oh, but you guys have questions. So first of all, do you notice this like kind of cool new background and shit? I did like a really very, very basic live stream test yesterday. And then I was like, wow, that was kind of fun. Let's see if we can do a little bit more. And here we are. Get some air. It's a little warm in here. So question, let me see if I can even show the question. Oh, look at that. Cody, look at that. I just featured your comment. That's weird. Boom, off, on. How's the fundraising for number 2 going? Let me look that up. I actually just tweeted out the sort of latest-ish. I believe we are at 33% of the way there. So we've raised 6,545. So let me do a little test here. Give to the NFY challenge at tinyurl.com/NFY20. Oh yeah, baby. That's cool. Yeah, so to answer your question, Cody, we are at I can even show you. Let's see if I can show you my little little diagram. Nerds for Yang. That's where we are. 6,545, 33% of the way there. So if any of you haven't given, it's never too late. And I'm on the recurring monthly plan. I actually switched my monthly giving from the direct to the Yang 2020 website to through the Nerds for Yang link. So basically I give every month automatically. Let's see if any other questions. Were you expecting people to be up, Holistic Hottie? No, I wasn't. I'm on Swiss time and it's 1 p.m. where I am. I don't know what you guys are doing, what time it is over where you guys are, but that's hardcore if you're up like some crazy hour. I'm using this mainly because I was thinking of doing a collab with Paget or Paget, I think. Paget, and I was thinking, well, maybe we can do a live stream together. That'll be easier than a traditional VOD. So I'm testing out this new software. Russell asked, what's the tool? It's called StreamYard, and it integrates with YouTube. And it allows me to do these fancy little overlays and the screen sharing and multiple guests. It seems like it's working okay so far. Cody says, haha. Well, I'll just show you guys. Cody says, haha, awesome, boom. Yes, indeed. What does Stephen H says, what does Yang need to do in the next debate to stand out? Well, I heard that the next debate it's going to be like 3 hours. Like they add an extra hour. So while we were disappointed that Steyer didn't make it, and he would, they wouldn't be able to break out the debates between 2 nights. Now that it's 10 people, they're adding an extra hour. That's what I heard. I haven't confirmed that. So I think everybody's going to get plenty of airtime. I think, what was it? CNN learned from the shit we gave NBC to make sure that Yang got enough time. And then with all of this, now you see why I do a lot of jump cuts in my videos, because I'd say a lot. But with all of this attention on Yang Media blackout, I think ABC is going to make sure he gets enough time. But what does he need to do to stand out? I think he just needs to be Andrew. I mean, if you said one thing he could do is you could have him continue to make the process, the sort of like kabuki theater element of this whole process, the real enemy. I've seen that work well in the Republican primary debates last cycle, where the candidate, rather than fighting with the other candidates, would just say, hey, that's a crazy question. This process is BS. And people really resonate with that. Now, at some point, you can overplay that hand, and maybe people would say, oh, come on, Andrew, you're always criticizing the process. But I would say if he sticks to his policy proposals, focuses on solving problems with new ideas, and then sort of rises above like the BS-ness of the process, that would be cool. Oh, Russell says it's 7% Eastern time. Yeah, so I guess some early birds out there. And then anybody on the West Coast, they're probably coming off of like a very late evening. Holistic Hottie says, yeah, a collab with Paget would be great. Yep, that we're just going to work out the dates. I had an interview with Steve Marchand yesterday, and I have some other videos that are in the hopper. So, and then at work, it's performance review season. So that's super busy with that wonderful process. What do you know about the article on ABC, the PowerPoint with the logo? I don't know about that one, Gerson. I haven't looked into that. What? Maybe you can give me some more details. Russell, remind me of your background in politics. Before the last debate, you talked about past election and how you were involved. No, I wasn't like, I'm just a voter. Last election, I was just saying how, I mean, my evolution is I was a Republican for many, many years. And I switched to pretty much like a conservative Democrat when Obama ran. I've been stayed a Democrat ever since, because the Republican Party has really changed a lot since I originally followed them in the 80s. But my involvement in campaigns has mainly been just following with avid interest, donating a little bit here and there. But I'm not like in the politics game. My day job is in technology and product development. Tehran Matharo. Oh, a little international action. Japan. I was in Tokyo for the first time in February. Oh my God. Food there was so good. Woo! It's like you think you know what good Japanese food is, and then you go to Tokyo, and then you're like, oh my God, what is this shit I've been eating all my life? Alex says, having not made the debate, do you think Tulsi will drop out? Oh, do you think Andrew will pick up a lot of her followers? I think she's going to try she has an opportunity to make the 4th debate. I think the one in October. So if she meets the 2% criteria and gets into the 4th debate, I would say if I were her, I wouldn't drop out until you made or didn't make that one. And if you didn't make that one, I sense a lot of overlap between Tulsi followers and Yang Gang. I would love for Tulsi to, if she dropped out, to then immediately become a Yang Gang surrogate. That would be freaking awesome, because she has great presence and what a really impressive background, and just brings a lot of gravitas, I feel like. So Peter R. Wait, hold on a second. Connor says that Andrew was the only class act. I agree. I don't think he should be like jumping in like Gillibrand does or did. I think that's kind of unbecoming of a leader, personally. On the other hand, I understand like sometimes that's the only way to get in on these like 10-person stages. Peter R. Hello, nerds. Duran. Who do you think would be Yang's running mate? And do you think his ideal running mate would be, and could he get him? I've been thinking about that. I kind of feel because Andrew's so unconventional, he may need a conventional running mate. Ideally, like the first thing that came to my mind was like a governor. Be honest, the first thing that came to my mind was like a very progressive Republican governor. That would totally shake up the general election. I don't know how the party would feel about that. But I guess if they nominated Yang, they wouldn't have a choice. He could pick who he wants. The other option is you go with like a Warren. That would pretty much lock in the Democratic base, I would imagine. And it would help provide more gender representation on the ticket. Warren's kind of not a believer in automation, so she would need to kind of talk about how she would evolve on that. But I don't know. That would be my guess. I think him at the top of the ticket would be the main thing. Should Yang denounce media bias head on? Well, he's come pretty close. Like on the Nerds for Yang interview, he basically said, hey, this is kind of crazy how he basically said they have their thumb on the scale. So that was kind of nuts. I don't know if he wants to do it too much. I don't think he wants to come across as a complaining or making excuses. Holistic Hottie says the article about Yang giving speeches with his logo on the PowerPoints is a controversy of the moment for Yang. Interesting. If you guys have a link to that that controversial article, maybe we can look at it together. Could you guys put a link to this PowerPoint thing in the comments, and I'll try and share it, and we can all look at it together. Let's see. Okay, Lewis says, Andrew gave talks early on during his campaign. He was compensated. ABC is suggesting campaign fraud. What? I don't know. People get paid to give speeches all the time. So what's the fraud there? That he got paid to give a speech? And what, he probably didn't report it maybe? And because he had a campaign logo? I don't know. I feel like these campaign finance things are meant... Oh, I think the argument would be, hey, some corporation gave him $90K to speak, and now he's not reporting that. Maybe that's the argument. So if that's the argument, I would agree that you should always be transparent. I guess the question is, how do you separate between him getting paid to give a speech versus him taking a campaign donation? It's kind of a gray area. Now, let's take a litmus test. If Trump had gotten paid by a company to give a speech while he was running for office, would we have called, and he didn't report it, would we have gone ballistic? I think we would. I think we would have. So in that case, I think Andrew should probably apologize and say, you know what? I should have reported it. I didn't. That was on me. I'm sorry. Here's how much I got, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so Donald saying, hey, the logo incident is he took speaking fees from banks for his book War on Normal People at the same time he was running for president. Yeah, so I guess the rule is if you're running for president, all your income should be fully disclosed. That's probably what I would want. And so, you know what? Like, hey, is it disqualifying? No. But what I will say is he probably has two ways he can respond to this. He can either just kind of not address it, or he can just address it head on and be like, you know what? You're right. I should have disclosed it. When I was running, I got paid to give speeches, sometimes by banks. And if I could do it again, I would disclose everything. Here's exactly the banks I spoke to. Here's how much they paid me on this date. Here's what I told them. And here's all the other money I've earned, if there is any other money, probably royalties and stuff from his books. That's what I would do. And I would just squash that thing. Because I think what we know from history is like, if you don't address these things, it just kind of takes on a life of its own. I mean, on the other hand, if the press is giving him crap about it, that's great, because they used to just ignore him. Russell, are you involved with your local Yang Gang at all? I don't think there's a local Yang Gang in Switzerland. My Yang time is mostly the Nerds for Yang channel, which takes up quite a bit of time. But if there's more I can do, I definitely will try. It's just hard with work and family. And this YouTube channel is takes a lot of time to, like, organize the videos and edit them and do the research and stuff like that. But I have had some help lately. There were a bunch of volunteers from the NFY Nation who have helped me with some research. So thank you again, Charlie, for the last thing he did. Charlie, a Nerds for Yang viewer, volunteered to do some research on Meet the Press, Face the Nation, and This Week candidate coverage, and put together this like really cool chart. So check it out if you haven't. I wonder, if I can even, that would be cool. Let me share that briefly. I go here, maybe. Hold on. There. Yeah. And if you go to the YouTube channel, it is, where the heck? This one. If you haven't seen this one, basically it says the data analysis for Meet the Press, blah, blah, blah. I'll put a link in the comments too if you guys haven't seen that. So you guys can check it out. But basically, Charlie did some volunteer research. And as you can see from this chart, what's interesting is there's a line, you can squint, in the middle, bold on the left-hand side, says Yang. It's all white boxes, meaning he gets zero coverage from all the kind of, the establishment media, Sunday morning media. We'll see that, like, rows and rows of white, and then one little blue box on the right, which is Face the Nation a couple weeks ago. But all the other rows above and below him get color, which means, like, everybody but Yang is getting covered in Meet the Press and This Week with George Stephanopoulos. No love. So the Yang media blackout is real. What? Okay, so PDX says he got paid $100K, had a tiny Y in the bottom corner. Yeah, I guess. Now PDX is saying, but it wouldn't be a violation if you use that 100. Only if you use 100K for the campaign. Yeah, that might be true. I mean, the letter of law might be like, well, if you use it for the campaign, you should disclose. On the other hand, if you get money while you're running for president, I would just disclose. Just disclose everything. Donald Clemens is saying there's a good video by Problem Solver, so go check that out. Feel free to put a link to that in the comments. And I think I'm going to wrap in a few minutes, but I did want to test this new format, which is I thought we could look at the news together. So let me pull up New York Times, t.com. And let's see what's on the front page today. How tax breaks, let's see if I can make it larger so you guys don't need to see me. Ooh, look at that. Wow, getting fancy. Fancy. How tax break to help poor communities became a bonanza for the rich. Yeah, there's a shocker. Then you've got the freaking crazy hurricane coming. I got a brother that lives in Florida. Hope he holds up okay. He's always telling me Florida is better than California. And I'm like, dude, you guys get hurricanes all the time. And he's like, yeah, but we don't have earthquakes. And just true. But they get hurricanes like freaking every few months. This is the one that really got me fired up. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Trump tweeted out this message. Here, you guys can see this message that he tweeted out. The United States of America was not involved in the catastrophic accident during the final launch preparations for the Safir SLV launch in Iran. I wish Iran best wishes. Okay, number one, what the hell kind of president does this? Like, he's taunting them. Doesn't it feel like he's taunting them? I don't know. I feel like he's not being super presidential. Secondly, let's take a look at this image. This image that he oh, why isn't it sharing? Hold on. Let's see here. Stop sharing, share, Chrome tab, share. Check this out. Look at this crazy MF tweeted out like, this is US military intelligence. That shit ain't from Google Maps, right? He tweeted this out, the explosion area over Iran, saying like, oh, it wasn't us. Good luck finding out who did it. I don't know. I don't know how we have a president that does this kind of thing. And like, can you imagine what would have happened if Obama had tweeted some shit like this out? People would be like, oh, you know, this is treason. Or if Hillary had tweeted this shit out, they would have been like, oh, she's exposing state secrets. I don't know. I just gotta breathe. Freaking Trump. Let's go on to let's go on to the other news. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see here. Stop screen sharing. We'll go back to yeah, let's do that. That should be easier. All right. So that's Trump and his crazy tweet. There's an article. Let's just go to the politics section, shall we? Whoa, that's a creepy picture. Dude looks very orange. Well, I'm glad they have a trial for the people plotting 9/11. Good. Prosecute. But let justice be served. Michael Flynn. Oh, remember Michael Flynn, National Security Advisor? It's like I can't keep track of all these Trump people. They keep turning over. Trump's personal assistant shared intimate details of the first family. Okay, whatever. Trump's Twitter war on spelling. That's such an elitist article. I mean, it's funny, but it's like, okay, yeah, the guy has a problem with spelling. He's got other problems. North Korea says hope of more U.S. talks is disappearing. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Like, you had Trump spend all this time doing these photo ops, but at the end of the day, I guess you got to judge people on results, right? And I don't think North Korea is any further away from a nuclear weapon than before Trump. Kirsten Gillibrand exits. Yeah. Did you guys read this article? It's pretty good about how she spent all this money, and it was really tough, and she's gone. So I'll take my hat off to anybody who gives it a shot, but wasn't my favorite candidate. World Bank to investigate if China loaned funded Muslim detention camps. Oh man, China doing some crazy stuff. Not a big fan of what they're doing with the Muslims. Not a big fan of all the surveillance in that country. But at the same time, we got to worry about our own country. I saw this. Did you guys see this thing on Netflix? This is called like American Factory. Let me see if I can share it. Netflix. American Factory. This thing was super interesting. It's on Netflix. It was looks like it was shown at Sundance, and it was about a GM plant that closed in Dayton, Ohio, and then then it was sort of vacant, and all these people lost their jobs. And then a Chinese company that makes glass for cars opened, called Fuyao. They actually opened a factory in that same building, and people were super excited. But the reality was that factory had a lot of trouble competing with its peer factories in China, because in China, those dudes were working like 6 days a week, and they only had like 2 days off a month, and they were getting paid very low wages. So it's very easy to forget that China, really still in many ways is a developing country. And so the same way American workers were willing to work mondo hours like in the Model T days, because they had to put food on the table, I think China today is, and that's hard to compete against. But even worse is they actually had a little bit of a segment in this documentary about the introduction of robotic arms replacing the workers. And as tough as that was to see for the Dayton, Ohio plant, those Chinese workers in China aren't exactly insulated from automation either. The whole world's going to have to deal with some crazy shit. So anyway, that's that. And then any other interesting news? Trump canceled his trip to Poland. Well, there's a surprise. I think this was supposed to be part of his trip to Denmark as well, which was canceled after the purchase of Greenland was turned down. So I think with that, guys, I'm going to wrap with one last thing. Shall we look at the polls? Let's take a look-see. I'll view full screen. Yeah. Ooh. Here we go. Whoa. Advertisement. Close that. Oh, what happened? Oh, shoot. I lost my thing. Hold on. Let me see if I can get back in there. Enter. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. Share screen. Share. Fine. Let's try this one more time. Please don't give me that stupid advertisement. Yes. Okay. So let's see here. The last poll was August 27th. Emerson, YouGov, Yang at 2. Sorry, The Economist, YouGov. Emerson had him at 4. But what's cool is if you look at the average, this RCP average of the last 2 weeks, we are ahead of Booker, O'Rourke, Gabbard, Castro. And you know, Buttigieg is 4.6. Oh, you can see my cursor, I think. Yeah. Buttigieg is 4.6. Yang is 2.5. Like, remember when Buttigieg was like 5 times higher? And look at Harris slipping. In fact, I think, yeah, we have a little chart here. That's going to be hard for you guys to see. But basically, Yang is this little, like, what color would you call that? Like this little greenish blue line jumping up. And then that's probably not useful. Let's just go back to here. Yang, look at this. You go 1, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2. So no more 1. We haven't had a 1 since August 18th. That's awesome. And then let's look at early states. Iowa. Last Iowa poll was, unfortunately, it was August 4th. With Yang at 2, though, from 0, according to. And then here, if we go down further in time, yeah, he had a lot of like dashes and zeros in the early days, and now he's at 2. So that's cool. New Hampshire. Let's look at New Hampshire. New Hampshire, Yang is what? There you are. 4. Yeah. Like that one. Freaking Steyer. Dude's spending all his money. Gabbard, respect, 5. Who knows? Maybe Gabbard, if she gets into the October debate, maybe she'll do okay. You know, South Carolina, if I were a betting man, I think Yang's going to do well there. I know the polls don't show it. He's only got 1 as of August 12th. But I don't know. I got a feeling he's going to do okay, but we'll see. But I think overall, nationally, oh, yeah, Vixel has a good point, which is like, it's more interesting to look at the change and the trend than the absolute number. That's fair. So I think with that, folks, we are going to call this one, call it a day. And say have a great weekend. I will be editing the Steve Marchand video in the next few days. I'll try and publish it middle of the week, maybe Thursday. And then I'll try and organize a collab with Paget, and maybe we'll do it via live stream. Let me ask you guys a question. Oh, I wish I could do like polls here. I don't think this StreamYard thing lets me do that. But let me ask you guys a question. Would you rather, for the Paget collab, would you rather see it live, or would you rather have it be a more kind of like edited, a little bit more polished video? The benefit is the more polished video is easier to consume. We could probably like get it down to like a 10-15 minute video, whereas the live would be more kind of free flowing, probably be like 30 minutes. But maybe you guys would prefer that approach. Do you guys have any views on that? No opinion. You guys have already tuned out. Let me just put a little banner here. Do you want live stream with Paget or more polished edited video interview? What do you guys think? Connor says live will be fun. Donald says, why don't you guys not do it live, then cut, polish, and trim? Yeah, that's the option, Donald. Sounds like you would prefer a regular, like the way I did it with Andrew, a regular interview that I then kind of cut and I add like visuals and make it a little bit more snappy with GIFs and things like that. Vixel is, I think, referencing, who is that angry mofo on Fox? What the hell is his name? O'Reilly Factor. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Wow, you guys like the live. Oh, Lewis is asking for best of both worlds. He's like, do it live and then cut to edit. Yeah, bro, that's a lot of work, man. But maybe I should. Maybe we do it live and then we do it like a clip of the best of. Good morning, Adam. Okay, so I think we'll do that. We'll do it live, and then if I have time, I can cut some clips. Worst case scenario, the live stream will be available. But I'm going to sign off and say goodbye. And looks like this new software worked pretty cool. So what fun. You guys keep it real. See you later. Nerd Power. Claw. Pull that up. Pull that money. Don't forget, by the way, don't forget, if you want to see Andrew on the show again, ka-ching, we got to give. I've given to the second challenge. And remember, we're at 33%. Oh, God, I hear a crying kid outside. I think they heard each other. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Give to the challenge.